through Friday with some of the most trusted names in the field. Join us and step into the unknown with Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken, Monday through Friday at 10 p.m. Only if you dare.
Spring and summer is the right time to install your fireplace. Find your perfect fireplace and have it installed and ready before the cold weather hits again. If you already have a wood fireplace, consider a fireplace insert or check out the entire selection at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces on East Franklin and Riverside in Minneapolis. It will transform your inefficient fireplace into a reliable, environmentally smart heating system.
This is Peter Solak, owner of Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces. Have you ever watched your dog or cat curl up in front of a fire? It's primordial, the way it touches both the animal and the human. We know that fire reaches deep into the heart and soul. Let us show you how. We have over 35 working units on display here in Minneapolis. We are located at the east end of Riverside Avenue at 2901 East Franklin. From I-94, take the Riverside Avenue exit. Find us also online at woodlandstoves.com. Let us help you make a fireplace part of your life.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, out of the ordinary products and services since 1977.
Would you let animals pick your insurance? Do you really need to experience mayhem to get the best rates? Or how about a celebrity quarterback or fake university saving you money? There's a lot of marketing stunts when it comes to insurance, but what you really need is someone looking out for you. Call Array Insurance, and they will work hard to find you the best insurance coverage and rates. So avoid gimmicks and call Cheryl at Array, 763-504-3067 or arrayinsurance.com. Array Insurance, working hard for you.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy, but with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. A slight chance of snow late tonight with an overnight low of 24. Then Wednesday, snow in the morning with temperatures around 14. Nightingale is your cozy, comfortable neighborhood bar and restaurant at 26th and Lyndale in Minneapolis. Come in for the famous Nightingale burger or the ginger tamari chicken wings. View their menu or place a takeout order at nightingalempls.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hit me cut again.
Because all the hippies are trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Chujunk, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
Yes, you are right, Dega. This portion of the show is supported by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, a lot going on here. I'm reading our notes here that you've expertly prepared. And good thing I'm like a speed reader here. No, I'm just kidding. You know, one of the things that we're going to talk about here is we're going to talk a little bit about new Native theater and the blood quantum physics and audio play by a guest, Deanna Standing Cloud, and it plays Fridays and Saturdays coming up 7 p.m. and Sundays at 2 p.m. And it's at the Gremlin Theater, and that's coming up real soon. And I'll tell you another thing, Chujunk, you have a relative that stars in that audio play.
Oh, I wonder which one that would be.
We should get her on.
I have asked. I've been talking. No, it's good. I've been talking to New Native Theater, and they had a couple of their main people that are in town now for the start of the play. And it's been great. Yeah. So this is a series by Deanna Standing Cloud, who's been on the show plenty of times, and she's great. She's also a great comedian. So I'm sure this will be quite a funny series. But Blood Quantum Physics is a series that follows the lives of 3 Indigenous women, Maria, Tina, and Sarah, each embracing their unique paths while navigating the complexities of modern Native life.
What were
powwows.
those names again?
Maria, Tina, and Sarah.
Wow, some real Native names.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I know, but yeah, it's kind of like a urban setting of modern Native life, and it'll be fun. There's going to be balancing their dreams and collective values, forming a sisterhood that helps them all face love and loss and self-discovery.
Yeah, and that's going to be this weekend, December 6th and 8th, and then the next weekend, the 13th through the 15th. And we're going to try and get out there, Wendy and I, on the Sunday
Nice.
because we're going to be down at Shakopee the next weekend for Native Roots Trading Post, and we're going to be selling our goods and trading trinkets with people down there.
That'll be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. But yeah, this will be at the Gremlin Theater in St. Paul. That address is 550 Vandalia Street. And it's an audio recording. So if you go to any of these performances, you'll be in the recording as the live audience, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, like I talk about here on Native Roots Radio, it's kind of the theater of the mind.
Yeah, it really is. Well, New Native Theater is just awesome. And we've seen, their past performances. And this is their 15th season at New Native Theater. And it's theater with an R-E at the end, not an E-R.
Well, and the thing that was hard for me, Chujunk, was not to put the in front of the name.
Right. No, I do that. I think I even do that with like the Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center or the Pretendians Band per se.
Yeah. Well, Rihanna too has been around for a long time here in the Twin Cities, and it was interesting. We had her on the show, and the writers were on strike, and we couldn't talk about. She wrote the first episode of the second season on Dark Winds, and that should be coming out here real soon.
Yeah, I know that
season.
Yeah, they did get renewed for another season. Dark Winds is great. I forget which streaming platform it's on, but it's great. I think that's the one with Zane McLaren.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was nominated for like sexiest Indigenous man of 2024 or something.
Yeah, I mean, I saw our friend that does one of our intros here. He was upset about it. I saw that on the X.
Oh, good old buddy Dallas Goldtooth.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, people were saying that some people got snubbed out of their sexiest man positions.
Well, I'm sitting up straight here at home here and wondering why people didn't vote for me. But maybe it's because I slouch and I'm ancient. And we were talking before the show about this shampoo I'm using that's going to grow back my hair.
Hey, if it works, it works. We'll have to try some like herbal natural stuff or something.
Yeah, or something for sure.
Something. Hey, but yeah, for more on New Native Theater, you can check out www.newnativetheater.org.
Well, in your notes for the show here, I saw that it's Heather Day. How the heck is that even possible?
I didn't know this. So I was actually looking up information because it's Giving Tuesday. Do you know what Giving Tuesday is?
Sure do.
Okay, well, I'm going to say it just in case people don't know, but Giving Tuesday is a global day of giving that takes place on the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. It's a day to promote generosity and a charitable giving and to encourage people to give back instead of spending more. For nonprofits, Giving Tuesday is a day to raise money and engage supporters, and many major American nonprofits organize fundraising campaigns, but smaller groups can also participate. So yes, today, December 3rd, is Giving Tuesday, but I also found out it's National Heather Day. So if your name's Heather, I guess you have a whole day dedicated to you.
Well, let me know when Robert Day is because I'm going to take the day off.
I know. I was looking up my name too. I was like, wow, we'll have to get something in.
We'll have to make one up. We do have the power here on Native Roots Radio to do things like that. Yeah, well, Heather Keeler is going to be on today too. Rumor has it.
Yeah, we'll have to bring that up to her. I don't know if she knows it's Heather's Day or not.
Yeah, well, along with me always trying to call her Senator Heather Keeler, I'll be calling her Representative Heather Keeler on Heather Keeler Day when I introduce her.
Yeah, one of the names right. It's also International Day of Persons with Disabilities and National Roof Over Your Head Day. And National Roof Over Your Head Day raises awareness to those in need to mend lives touched by the trials of homelessness.
Yeah, and we're going to have Ruth Buffalo on too, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the Giving Tuesday and how we can support her organization. But I know there's so many organizations over the years I've done work for, like Enda Young.
Yeah.
We got Maggie Lorenz's group. I know they do really well on this day too.
Wakantipi?
Thank you. Yes.
Awande Yakapi. There's like another part of that name too.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
it's Dakota.
Yeah. And I'm glad you're here for that, because I would be, how I get through a lot of times too is just to kind of mumble through the names so they know I don't mispronounce it. So
Yeah, I just do my best pronunciation. I don't think it's right. I'm not Dakota, but you can never, be wrong by trying.
That's right. Yeah, and our friend Barry Hand said that, and I think he said it on the show. He says it to me all the time because he's a Lakota Dakota teacher over the years, and it's just like he really advocates trying is doing, and I appreciate that, because I get a little gun shy when it comes to speaking Ho-Chunk or any language, but especially our Ho-Chunk.
Yeah, and you can never, learn or improve unless you try.
Yeah,
you mentioned Inde Young. Do you want to give a little detail about what organization that is and what they do?
Well, Enda Young has been around a long time, and a good friend of mine is the CEO of that now. But it's a homeless shelter for youth, and it's been around a long time. And I know they had this big house in St. Paul that was one of the organizations, and I think, or one of the buildings, and I believe 2 or 3 years ago, I can't remember, might even be 4, that they got a huge building, a huge donation, and they're on University Avenue here in St. Paul with a big building for our youth, and they do a lot of other services out of there, and it's just great work.
Yeah, really. There's a lot of great organizations in our Native community, and we're so thankful for them.
Right on. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we got our friend Ruth Buffalo up next, and this is start of another month, and I'm grateful, and after going through November and Gratitude Month, I'm grateful for you, Haley.
Oh, like right back at you, Dega.
We'll be right back. Native Roots Radio. I heard sex trafficking happens a lot in Indian country. What is that?
Here are some of the real reasons why sex trafficking happens in Indian country. Unequal gender roles that were forced on us by colonization. Communities don't have enough resources. Silence around domestic and sexual violence. Lack of attention and justice for missing and murdered Indigenous people. There's a lot of behavior that keeps our communities out of balance. These are just a few true reasons why Native communities are targeted by traffickers. When these acts of violence happen in our communities, it opens us all up for exploitation.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
As we age, it's important to invest in our health and to help protect it. Like the flu, COVID-19 is always changing. That's why it's important to stay up to date on your vaccines. By getting the flu and COVID-19 vaccines, you can renew your body's defenses and lower the risk of getting sick. Get your health boost and protect yourself against the flu and COVID. Find vaccines near you at vaccines.gov. Again, that's vaccines.gov. Vaccines.gov.
Step into the world of movement and Native culture at Nimiwin, now showing at All My Relations Arts. Nimiwin is translated as Everyone Dance. This moving multimedia exhibition, curated by Josie Hoffman, delves into the connection between movement and identity, drawing inspiration from dance and powwow traditions. It showcases the work of Indigenous artists from Minnesota, emphasizing the fluidity of movement in our bodies, land, and community. Witness Nimiwin and its powerful expression on Indigenous art, on display now through January 18th at All My Relations Arts in Minneapolis. Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl. Howl!
You're listening to Native Roots Radio. This is Spirit from Reservation Dogs. Get up and listen.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Development Institute, or NACD, in Minneapolis.
Hey, we have our friend Ruth Anna Buffalo on, CEO of Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center. And great to hear from you, Ruth. How are you doing?
Hi, Dosha. Doing good. Madzigidads. Thank you for having us.
Right on. Hey, it's today is December 3rd, and it's Giving Tuesday, and I want to give a couple times here during the show. I want people to be directed where your site is, so they can give on Giving Tuesday.
Yes, thank you. Yep, it's miwrc.org, and there'll be a link, or there'll be actually like a pop-up window that will say please donate. And so miwrc.org or / donate. So miwrc.org / donate.
Right on, right on. And one of the things we should talk about is how we can support and remind our relatives out there listening to the show what your organization does. Just a quick overview, and then we'll talk about a couple other things.
Sure. We work to support American Indian women and their families, and we are culturally rooted in our community and our ancestral teachings. So we have a lot of different support systems, support mechanisms at MIWRC to help individuals, families, and our community to live a long, healthy life.
Right on. Hey, this Thursday, December 5th at 5:30, Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center is hosting a healing circle for Indian boarding school survivors and descendants. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Yep. So the National Native American Boarding School Healing Coalition has hosted provided space at various locations throughout the Twin Cities metro area, and I know they rotate locations, and so we're thankful to host the healing circles at MIWRC. I believe it's like the first Thursday of every month. And then it actually also coincides with the healing, the cedar ceremony that takes place in the community room. So it's a nice healing space this Thursday. The Healing Circle will be convening in the Healing Journeys conference room on the first floor at MIWRC. But I know that they're encouraging the NABS staff who are hosting the Healing Circle are encouraging individuals and families and members of our community to also join in on the cedar ceremony, but there'll be food available and they still want to offer that space. And I believe they're going to be moving to virtual healing circles, and they'll have mental health therapists and traditional healers available as well.
Wow, that's cool. Hey, we have
Yeah.
a save the date winter storytelling with our friend Devery Fairbanks, and you want to talk about that a little bit? That's on January 8th at 6 p.m. and talk a little bit about what that looks like.
Yeah, for sure. And that's we're pretty excited to be hosting the event, and it's a time to come together and learn more of the different stories. And I'm just really appreciative of how much the richness in our culture that's accessible to everybody in the community and in the urban setting, so to speak. In the Minneapolis St. Paul area, it's one of the largest. Urban native populations in the country, and so it's amazing to see how much richness there is in terms of our ancestral teachings still surviving the test of time. And we know during the winter months, that's oftentimes when certain stories are told. And actually was able to attend a gathering when I was back home at Fort Berthold Indian reservation, and it was nice. We had clanship stories, and it was nice to share a meal and just be amongst community. And so, really looking forward to the event. Zawin Gonzalez, the director of the Learning Center, is helping coordinate the event and also working with all of our different amazing programs underneath the MIWRC umbrella, family services, traditional healing, traditional birthing, Nujamo, and the drop-in center, and also our housing program.
Yeah, maybe you can remind our listening audience why we prefer storytelling in the winter.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, I know there, different there's different, how do you say it? Different tribal nations or tribes have different meanings or different protocols and things, and so yeah, I want to be respectful too, because I'm a visitor in Minnesota, but so yeah, I think different tribes have different protocols, and it's always good to respect those protocols for sure.
I know, kind of like with Ho Chunk and our longhouse, stories were told because it was cold out, But
Yeah. Yeah,
during the
we're
winter, we didn't want to go outside and chop wood,
when because yeah, we have those buffalo hides. No, we were joking too about like some of the drafts coming in our doors at the house. We're like, yeah, it's time to whip out the buffalo hides.
Hey,
Yeah.
shoot. So you touched lightly on it. How was the remainder of your weekend at home in North Dakota with the relatives?
Geez, it was pretty amazing. We have like the next, our future generations are flourishing and in full swing. We have I got to hold a newborn relative that was just born 3 days. She was born on gosh, early Thursday morning. So we got to see her on Sunday on our way through Bismarck. Stopped at the hospital there and saw my niece who's doing well. Got to hold her 3-day-old baby. So like my auntie, my late auntie Hope, it's her great granddaughter. And then also the night before that, I got to hold a 3-week-old great granddaughter of my uncle's in Mandaree, relatives visiting from Montana. And then, yeah, so I got to hold a granddaughter and a grandson, great granddaughter, great grandson of my aunt and my uncle. And then we have more on the way. So we have a set of twins on the way in January, and another little one on the way. So and they got to see one of my other uncles, another great granddaughter at the Clanship Stories gathering in Newtown. So it's pretty awesome to see our future generations.
Wow. Well, that's a true definition of we're still here.
Yes, for sure. I mean, it's just super thankful to see and witness, because like, yeah, it's just amazing to see and be alive in these times, and to see the little ones being so loved up and nurtured. So yeah, it's beautiful. Super thankful.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You mentioned something else earlier too about, we have what I've heard reported in my work is over 150 tribes in the Twin Cities, and we have like 75,000 Native Americans in the 7-county area. You lived here when you were younger. What kind of vibe do you feel now compared to then?
Well, first of all, no, I was single with no dependents. No,
Oh,
I'm not single, but yes, I guess like when you look at the income reporting demographics boxes that you would categories that you'd fit under, that was me. I'm just saying, like,
so
you
was it
know,
single and ready to mingle? Is that the one you checked?
no,
Okay, just checking.
anyways, no, like I was a lot younger, but yeah, we had I don't know. Yeah, of course, I think times have changed in terms of like crime. But although, the place that I was living at, like the first week there, like kitty corner from the house that I was renting, it was like a sublet in the attic of a big older Victorian house on Cedar Avenue. But it was like a week or 2 weeks in the house kitty corner from where I was renting or subletting. There was a homicide across, the way. So it was kind of like my, introduction to the neighborhood. But I definitely believe times have changed. I mean, with even how things were, because I worked at Division of Indian Work Youth Leadership Development Program on Lake Street. So I didn't live too far from there. But I would say the vibe definitely. It just seems there's more. I would say a larger unsheltered Native population. That's what's really, really striking. I think from between then and now, for sure.
Wow. Hey, we're with Ruth Buffalo, and I got to get used to calling you your name, Ruth Anna Buffalo. And we're really excited to talk to you, and keep both hands on the steering wheel. And we'll be right back after this short break. Programming on Native Roots Radio is supported in part by MNsure. Looking for health insurance, but not sure where to start? MNsure has you covered. You can find discounts, compare private health plans, and see if you qualify for free or low-cost insurance. Plus, get help from an expert so you save on the coverage you need. Enroll online by December 18th for coverage starting January 1st. Get started today at mnsure.org. That's mnsure.org.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950. Support for Native Roots Radio comes from the Walker Art Center, an art space that's more than the spoon and cherry. Galleries celebrate contemporary visual art, including Indigenous artists like Edgar Heap of Birds, Cheyenne and Arapaho Nation, and Jim Demini, Ojibwe. Additionally, films screen in the cinema, and performances are shown on stage. Free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org. Again, that's walkerart.org.
It's okay to talk about mental health. It's okay to struggle. And it's okay to ask for help. It's important that we support one another and work together to end the stigma so that we can start to tell a different story about mental health and well-being in our community. If you're looking for support for yourself or want to find resources for a loved one, visit makeitokay.org to get started. That's makeitokay.org.
Hi, I'm Peter Solak.
And I'm Adam Ostrowski.
We are here at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces to talk about the joy of live fire cooking. Cooking over a live fire is the oldest and most basic form of cooking.
What's new is in the way fire is handled and its heat is managed.
It's easier to experience and enjoy the smell and taste of food cooked over a live fire.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces sells and installs live fire grills, fire pits, and ovens. Let us help you experience the smell, the taste, the fun of cooking with fire.
Pizza was first made and is still best made in an open fire oven. The radiant and conductive heat of a live fire is unmatched for wood roasting and baking artisan breads too.
Come see the many ways you can cook over a live fire.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces has over 35 working wood and gas units on display at the corner of East Franklin and Riverside Avenue in Minneapolis. More information at woodlandstoves.com. Find the fire that works for you. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, out of the ordinary products and services since 1977.
A home that needs new everything, plus the kitchen sink. Life math is complicated. Affinity Plus makes it easier. With great rates on a home equity line of credit, we make tackling home projects less stressful. Visit affinityplus.org/rates to learn more today. Affinity Plus Federal Credit Union, insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. A slight chance of snow late tonight with an overnight low of 24. Then Wednesday, snow in the morning with temperatures around 14. Nightingale is your cozy, comfortable neighborhood bar and restaurant at 26th and Lyndale in Minneapolis. Come in for the famous Nightingale burger or the ginger tamari chicken wings. View their menu or place a takeout order at nightingalempls.com.
This is Leonard Peltier. I am in Coleman 1, U.S. Penitentiary, and I'm listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awakened. This is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Native American Community Clinic on Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, honoring health and tradition.
Hi, we are back with our friend Ruth Anna Buffalo, CEO of Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center here in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis. Welcome back, Ruth.
Yes, thank you.
Hey, wanted to ask you a couple more questions before we let you go. And I just kind of wanted to start out, especially with, are the hopes up high now that Biden has pardoned his son? Is Leonard near and next, or what is your vibe on that?
Gosh, definitely hope that Leonard Peltier will be granted executive clemency by President Joe Biden. That's the hope, and just continuing to push. We're encouraging everybody to push, or to contact their representatives, because he's an elder. He spent over half of his life behind bars, more than over half of his life, and he's in poor health. And yeah, we're still hoping that President Joe Biden will grant executive clemency for our elder Leonard Peltier.
Yeah, definitely. So, Ruth, appreciate that. I want to always give you the opportunity to speak on anything you'd like to speak on before we let you go. And we really appreciate your opinion and what you go and do, and just your knowledge and being a good relative.
Madzigadad, thank you. Yep, at MIWRC, we are hosting a winter market next Friday, December 13th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So we're encouraging the public to come out and support your local artists and vendors. So that again is next Friday, December 13th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in the community room at MIWRC. Construction has taken away. It's really the construction, the renovation of the top 2 floors at MIWRC is moving at a rapid pace. And so there may be some, temporary closures, like for water shutoffs and things that are out of our control. So we're asking for communities' patience and understanding ahead of time for some of these, like, unplanned, or just temporary shutdowns that are out of our control due to the construction of the top 2 floors. We're excited because construction is moving rapidly, and we're still on schedule for the new units to be opening July of 2025.
Wow, how exciting! How exciting to see your work come to fruition, and all the people that work there, be able to watch this happen.
Yeah, the staff are amazing. I mean, it's an amazing community, and everybody does such great heart work. Our staff, we joke and say they're the Care Bears, and they just have such huge hearts, and the work they do is amazing. And we're just so thankful for everybody, and for everybody's patience and understandings to be able to adjust to the changes of temporary shutdowns. Even for example, our staff too, we had to move into temporary office space within the building, thankfully, but to accommodate the renovation that's moving at rapid pace for sure.
Awesome. Well, Ruth, we're going to let you go because I understand that you're driving, and I don't want to be a cause of an accident and ask you one of those hard questions.
No problem. Thank you, Mods Grads.
Great to see you. Thanks for all you do.
Likewise.
Right on. Hey, that was Ruth Anna Buffalo. Just a amazing person, and it's fun too because over the years I've been, and one thing is, Haley, you've mentioned this too, is that Ruth's pretty tall, so she's kind of intimidating when you first meet her just by her presence, but she's like such a down to earth person, very close to her heart, and we really appreciate her updates and her coming on.
Yeah, really. And her support for Native Roots Radio, and not only just us, but a lot of people in our community. And I'm so thankful that she's here in our Twin Cities now and not in North Dakota. It's so great to, see people that we have on the show in person, face to face, in community. That really just makes all the connections so much more real. And so thankful that Ruth is in the leadership position that she is in at Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center.
Yeah, our friend Nina that listens to the show on Facebook said Ruth is awesome, and we agree. And we just appreciate everyone's feedback and listening in our live Facebook and YouTube stations, along with over the air. And there's a streaming too that we're on through AM 950, so you can listen to us live. And the streaming is called TuneIn. I just wanted to say that too. So if you, I listen to the radio and AM 950 specifically and Civic Media through TuneIn. Because I don't have a transistor radio anymore, so I have an iPhone and headphones and unlimited data, so I can listen to it as if it is a transistor radio.
Yeah, there you go. And even better yet, when you use the TuneIn Radio app, it's all live, but you can also find Native Roots Radio on podcasting platforms like Apple Music or Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and you can find any and all Native Roots Radio episodes on there.
Yeah, really good point too. Really, really good point. And we appreciate it. We roughly do a couple thousand a day of us listening to us on Facebook Live, and we really appreciate people that, maybe don't listen to it live, but listen to it within the 24 hours that we are broadcasting. And that's a pretty steady number.
Yeah, really grateful for that. I always think it's fun too if you get sick of just listening to our voices and you want to see what we look like or what we're wearing that day, head over to Facebook or YouTube. I think might be still streaming on X, but yeah, our video streams are up on social media as well.
Yeah, we're on X. And also I'm on Blue Sky too. If anyone wants to reach out, Native Roots Radio is on Blue Sky. And that's been a big turnover for a lot of people that are jumping off X. We just want to say that
That's true.
Check it out.
Yeah, look at you all hip with those new apps.
Yeah, you know it. I'm totally grateful and of the process, the station, and also being on Civic Media in Wisconsin, and then we rebroadcast a lot of our shows on local non-commercial shows, and Haley sends those out every week, and we're just grateful. And I know a lot of people hear us on those stations too.
Yeah, shout out KFAI, KOJB, all of those guys, especially Civic Media stations.
Yeah, definitely. And we're really happy. And it's fun because we can have our relatives, our Ho-Chunk relatives on that are from Wisconsin, talk about issues too, like Arvina and all our friends. We've had the president of Ho-Chunk Nation on, and we're just super stoked about that. Hey, Haley, you were talking a little bit, and I only have a couple minutes there, and I see State Representative Heather Keeler is in the bullpen, and I don't know if Heather, can you shake your head if you can hear us?
She's laughing at us.
Yeah, well, We want to tell you this before we get you on. It's Haley told me that it's Heather Day.
Yeah, it's National Heather Day. So
Yeah.
it's your day, Heather.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
pretty special.
Let's put her on real quick. Heather, congratulations on Heather Day.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. So excited to share this day with all the other Heathers in the world. All the ones I know are pretty amazing.
Well, before we get to your segment, I just want to ask you a question about Heather. And did you ever see the movie Heathers?
I did
with
not.
Winona, Winona Ryder?
I have not seen it. I've heard a lot about it. I feel like it maybe came out at a time that I wasn't really watching movies or like TV shows or, you know what I mean? Like it's,
Oh, it was beautiful.
I
It was
get
before
asked
your
a lot
time.
if I was named Heather because of that show. And the truth is I'm named after the flower Heather. My grandma thought it was one of the most beautiful flowers, and one of the most beautiful color purples. And so it's kind of interesting, I guess, what that name has led me into in my life. And so
Well,
cool meaning.
how did your grandma know that you were going to grow up to be such a beautiful person?
I mean, I think my grandma maybe knew purple was going to be my favorite color.
Well, I promised to, and then we had a pre-meeting talk to Heather about talking about Heather Day, National Heather Day, but also to stay within the representative area instead of state senator. So I'm going to work on that during the commercial break here.
Yeah, you do that. I feel like this has been a work in progress, but I will say the last couple times I've been on, you've been pretty good at staying in the lane that I want to stay in because I tease you, you know, like don't call me a senator because like I just don't want that in the universe. I really like being a House representative because I love the constituents that I'm able to serve. So I love being in the House.
Yeah, and we do too. And just don't jinx me. You know that we've been doing good for the last couple times. So
yeah,
Haley will help me. She'll beep me out if I get going on that, won't you, Haley?
I'll try my best.
I've heard your guys' stellar sound effects lately, so maybe we need to start having a sound effect for Run, like Robert calls me that name.
Yeah. Well, I've manifested things over the years too. Like my Weeha with her twins lives only 8 minutes away, and I've manifested that. I said, "Oh, the West 7th area is a really nice area, and you can get a big house for good money, and you're right next to us." And what do you know? 3 years later, they live right close to us. So watch out.
And I think it's really cool, like that generational piece. I think that, often we miss the uniqueness of having our family close and how like I lean into my mom a lot with my kids. And I think, not just as help, it's very much a relationship and this generational support system. And I think it's pretty cool that you guys get to do that. And I see that a lot in our communities. And I love that. I love the generational space that we have. We talk a lot about generational healing, not just generational trauma. And I think you manifested a way to really help heal, what next generations look like. And I think when Unchis can be a part of our lives and our grandkids' lives, it's just really better for all of us.
Well, I can't wait. Heather, you're always so great on the radio. We're going to have you back in this next segment. This is Native Roots Radio. We'll be right back after the short break.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
As we age, it's important to invest in our health and to help protect it. Like the flu, COVID-19 is always changing. That's why it's important to stay up to date on your vaccines. By getting the flu and COVID-19 vaccines, you can renew your body's defenses and lower the risk of getting sick. Get your health boost and protect yourself against the flu and COVID. Find vaccines near you at vaccines.gov. Again, that's vaccines.gov. Vaccines.gov.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living.
Visit AA.org for more information and download the Meeting Guide app to find a meeting near you.
Tom Hartman here to tell you about St. Paul-based All Energy Solar. They've been providing solar energy solutions to customers since 2009. All Energy Solar's professionals will help you through the entire process, from a free site assessment to a custom design that works for your property. Now is the time to go solar. Make a powerful investment by switching to solar energy by visiting allenergysolar.com for your solar quote. That's allenergysolar.com.
Annie, I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
That was pretty good that time.
Yeah, it was the harmony, the 3-part harmony was awesome. Hey, we're here with Heather Keeler, Minnesota State Representative, and our friend. We have a lot to talk about. I'm looking at the notes that the producer brought up here, and there's a lot of markets. And before we get into the markets you want to talk about, I just want to remind everybody, as a matter of fact, Wendy's down at the Dayton's in downtown Minneapolis, where Native Roots Trading Post is, and straightening things up and filling up our orders. And so I'm really grateful for her and grateful for everyone coming out there. And then also we're going to be, Wendy and I are going to be live in Shakopee on the 13th through the 15th at Native Roots Trading Post, selling our wares and telling a few jokes.
Well, are they going to be funny jokes or just jokes?
Dad jokes. I'm old. It's gonna be dad jokes. So it depends on what mood you're in, if you'll like them or not. I can get eye rolls or people laughing. I taught school for 30 years, and I had students always say, you're funny. You should be a comedian. And I said, I am. And I got, healthcare, and I work 40 hours a week, and I get the summers off. And so, yeah.
I thought you were going to say you were a teacher, and so you were used to the eye rolls.
Oh, that too.
Mm-hmm.
That too. That's good. So Heather, the lot going on, and we like to talk about, like during powwow season, how important it is for people that go out and about and see something native to ask people who made this. And when we go to these markets, we pretty much know.
Mm-hmm. That's one thing I think. So Haley and I have actually, when we link up in different places, it's like we always go to the vendors and we always check out like who's where and what's going on. And I look at it as an opportunity to support our relatives, but also to grow our own economics. And I think, during holidays, we're always shopping for people. It seems like that time of year, and it's easy to go to Amazon or jump online and do things. And I really like, we're coming out of Native American Heritage Month. Everybody really loved talking about us then, but now we go into like, what decisions are you making in your life to really support what we do and what we're trying to do, whether it's locally owned businesses, women owned businesses, like going and supporting your friends. But for us, it's our crafts. And I think, some of our beadwork is absolutely gorgeous. The amount of time and the talent that people put into that is really unique and wonderful. And so I really lean into reminding people that we have a lot of small businesses within our own community. And we all know people who make things or sell things. Robert, you and your family do that. And so I think it's that time of year where it's really nice to buy your friends and your family gifts. But it's even more important when you support the small businesses that your families and your friends run. It's a thing I've kind of learned being a small business owner and trying to lean into my friends to say, how can you support my business? And that seems to be the hardest market for us to get into. And so, I just want you to remember to support your friends, your family, other people in our community. Haley and I were throwing up some like just craft fairs that are happening, or markets that are taking place, cultural events that are happening. Some of our schools or Indian education programs are putting on round dances and powwows with vendors. And so I just want to, I guess we talk about a lot of things, and sometimes the things that we talk about don't really impact us as a community. And I think shopping and supporting each other absolutely supports the economics of who we are as Indigenous people.
Perfect. And also, I guess too, one of the things I was kind of trying to bring up too is that when our white allies are out there looking for native things, ask questions. And then if you are at powwows or round dances or markets, you can buy things if they're for sale. You don't have to ask, but they're there for everyone to buy.
Yeah, I think it's the difference between like cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation. And, buying the beadwork from the people who do that. We have American Indian art acts that tell us, that like when we have vendor booths or vendors, sign up at powwows, that you really have to prove that you are an American Indian selling this artwork and these crafts, because it's something that is really unique to us. And there are things that people mimic. And, buying things that look like our beadwork from Target is probably not really the way to support who we are. And so I'm with you, like ask who makes them, ask where they're from, learn a little bit about the story, about the colors that they've picked. Sometimes those things have really cool meaning behind them too.
And I know too, beaters, and when we work with our resin, we pray, for everything we put in there and smudge it off. And those are important things. And Native relatives have come up and asked us if we've done that. And that's good too, because that is the right way to do it. And yeah, I just, one of the things I always bring up too, we're at the state fair too, and I know state representative, you can't make it because it's kind of a tricky time for you and your children or your kids or your son, because they're going to college and going back to school. But there was a lot of, when we got into the fair, there was a lot of quote unquote native inspired work out
Yeah.
there, and really that just means native stolen.
Yeah, that's kind of always bothered me, because it's like there's different parts of our culture that people want to lean into, and then there's other parts that they want to stay away from. And it's just like you can't just take the beautiful parts of who we are and then turn around and sell that for profit. Because the way that we make things and the reason why we make things, and again, the economics of it is so important. And I think like we try to lowball our friends. We try to get deals on medallions, and it's like the work and the time that people put into that is so real and so valuable. And so don't take away the value from the people who are doing it, and then don't mimic or degrade the talent that our people have really created.
The original reason why we started Native Roots Trading Post too was to get artists out there that are making a fair market price for, let's say, their paintings. Now, if you need diapers or something, you might sell your painting for $15, where really it's a $150 painting. And we want to get away from that, and we really want to support artists in their true value.
Yeah, it's interesting because we're kind of talking a lot about life after the pandemic. And, when you went to powwows and stuff before, like the vendor booths, one, there were more of them. And I feel like their inventory was just so robust that really fell off for a while, because in a market that it was so in-person type of sales, it really changed. And I'm seeing kind of a pickup back in bringing artists back out and, building inventory to be able to sell. But I think too, like we're really seeing people lean into the digital selling space, and there's like different people are selling things on sites online, but that comes with its own risk too. So if you are a seller or a vendor, be an honest vendor, because like if somebody orders stuff from you and they don't get it in the mail, that starts to create this bigger issue of trust within our own people as well. And so it's responsibility for us as the purchasers and the supporters lean in and buy from our people. But then it's important that those who are selling the products, do a really good job at getting it out to the people as well. And that's what economics is all about. It's a cycle of demand and need, and doing it in a good way collectively together. And I think we can take charge of some of our own economics by supporting each other.
Absolutely good way to end this. Haley, before we get going, we got 30 seconds. I heard rumors that you and State Representative were doing a contest at the last round dance.
Oh, geez, we're gonna be one.
Let's hear it.
No, it's gonna be too loud.
Just step back.
Right here. Point is, we were pretty good.
We were good.
I guess I have to go to the next round dance to see that. Dang.
Yeah, everyone does.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hey, we're still here. We are the 7th generation. This is Native Roots Radio.
And free Leonard Peltier.
Right now.